We will never go back to the handshake conundrum that compromised the oversight role of the opposition over government in the name of unity.
A few minutes later, a little longer than a few minutes later.
I want to associate myself with the comments that have already been made by my elder brother, Raila Odinga, on the journey that we have come as our two political formations.
Today, you have signed a Memorandum of Understanding between Orange Democratic Movement and the United Democratic Alliance. The cardinal goal of the MoU is to help ease the prevailing tensions in the country, reconcile the population, alleviate their suffering, and move the country forward by addressing the critical social, political, and economic issues our people are grappling with today.
Kenyan politics is rarely short of surprises. In a dramatic turn of events, President William Ruto and opposition leader Raila Odinga have embarked on a path of cooperation. This unexpected alliance has sent shockwaves through the nation. It has left both supporters and critics wondering about the motivations and implications of this newfound unity.
As leaders of the largest political parties in the country, we arrived at the understanding that in a time of significant changes and challenges to our nation, it is not enough to merely grandstand or stand aside and criticize, easy as those may be. They say any madman can kick down a barn, but it takes a good carpenter to build one. We have agreed to help build a barn for our country, rather than merely kick down what we have. We have agreed to use our parties as a broad platform, bringing together various voices, opinions, and concerns to address the critical challenges facing the country through a formation that is truly national and inclusive in outlook. A core problem we agreed to prioritize is youth unemployment and resulting hopelessness that has made them easy fodder in political contests in which there is nothing tangible for them. In this MoU, we agree to embark on steps to realign the country's economic, social, and political priorities to address the youth agenda that has progressively fallen behind in the last 62 years of our independence. Through this MoU, we commit to uphold the Constitution, the rule of law, and respect for human rights. Importantly, we pledge to tackle unemployment, cost of living, crippling poverty, inequality, and failure of the institutions that have been eroded by inefficiency and corruption over the decades, making them unable to deliver to Kenyans. We seek a more equitable country in which all peoples of all backgrounds are included in the enjoyment of socio-economic benefits and are equal members of one indivisible nation. All Kenyans must feel that they belong here by right, and the right to access, without any form of discrimination, whatever Kenya has to offer. We commit to protect and to strengthen devolution as a machinery for ensuring a more inclusive development across the country. In this regard, we will be tabling a proposal that the unbundling of functions that has been recently concluded, counties should get not less than 450 billion shillings in the 2025-2026 financial year.
The formation of a joint committee between Ruto's UDA party and Odinga's ODM party marked the beginning of this political realignment. This committee, composed of members from both sides, was tasked with laying the groundwork for a formal agreement. Their objective was clear: to explore areas of collaboration and bridge the divide that had long characterized Kenyan politics. The significance of this committee cannot be overstated. It signaled a departure from the adversarial politics that had often hampered progress in Kenya. For years, Ruto and Odinga were fierce rivals. Their rivalry often spilled over into the streets, leading to unrest and uncertainty. The decision to form this committee suggested a willingness to prioritize national interest over personal ambition. This unexpected turn of events has left many Kenyans both hopeful and apprehensive. The success or failure of this alliance will undoubtedly shape the country's political landscape for years to come. Only time will tell whether this newfound unity will translate into tangible benefits for the Kenyan people. The coastal city of Mombasa played host to a pivotal moment in Kenyan politics. It was here on February 24th, 2025, that the UDA and ODM parties formalized their cooperation.
We are going to take turns with my counterpart to read out this MoU. It is titled Memorandum of Understanding to Resolve the Social, Economic and Political Challenges Facing Kenya 2025. Realizing that Kenya has gone through a long period of political crisis and conflict that has hampered the nation's potential for development and improving the livelihoods of our people. Noting that such crises have often resulted into demonstrations by our people demanding their rights, with the state often resulting to brutal suppression of such demonstrations that unfortunately lead to loss of life as well as property. Acknowledging that the nation will not develop without reinforcing democratic governance and the rule of law, conscious that the decay in democratic governance is expressed through skewed allocation of resources, ethnic intolerance and marginalization, corruption, and noting that devolution, though intended to strengthen democratic governance and development at the grassroots, is systematically undermined and starved of funds. The Right Honorable Raila Odinga, EGH, being the party leaders of the largest political parties in Kenya and bearing the greatest political responsibility, acknowledge the need in setting up a broad platform for collaboration and cooperation between all political forces and other stakeholders in the Kenyan society to address these long-standing challenges that threaten our nationhood.
The pact, signed amidst much fanfare, outlined a framework for collaboration between the two political giants. This agreement, dubbed the Mombasa Pact by some, is seen as a strategic masterstroke by Raila Odinga. A veteran of Kenyan politics, Odinga has a history of forging alliances, often with former rivals. This latest pact reinforces his reputation as a master tactician, always willing to adapt to the ever-shifting political landscape. Javas Bigambo, a renowned political analyst, echoes this sentiment. He observes Odinga is a master tactician in self-preservation and political remodeling. Indeed, Odinga's ability to remain relevant and influential despite never ascending to the presidency is a testament to his political acumen. The Mombasa Pact has been met with mixed reactions. While some laud it as a necessary step towards national unity, others view it with suspicion. Critics, including Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua, have accused Odinga of opportunism, suggesting that this pact is merely a means to secure power and influence. The political tremors from the UDA-ODM alliance are already being felt across various sectors. One of the most immediate and tangible outcomes is the anticipated cabinet reshuffle. President Ruto is expected to make key changes to his cabinet, a move widely seen as an attempt to accommodate Odinga's allies. Sources within the government suggest that at least 2 cabinet secretaries are likely to be replaced. The reshuffle is being touted as an effort to enhance service delivery and streamline government operations.
As a first step towards this collaboration, His Excellency President Dr. William Samoei Ruto, CGH, and the Right Honorable Raila Odinga did set up the National Dialogue Committee in the year 2023 and hereby make this resolution on the initiatives that must be undertaken to instill further confidence in the country. While this memorandum does not define the formation of a political coalition between the respective political parties, its successful implementation will inform the basis of steps towards the establishment of a progressive and stable country. Now, therefore, the two leaders commit and resolve to collaborate and cooperate with each other by conducting broad-based consultations between themselves on the key issues identified below. Number one, the full implementation of the National Dialogue Committee report, the NADCO report. Priority issues in the NADCO process, like the cost of living, youth unemployment, establishing a framework for the implementation of the two-thirds gender rule, have been the topics of discussion for far too long and now must be actualized. Number two, inclusivity in all spheres of public life. Kenya belongs to all persons, regardless of their ethnicity, religion, generation, or geographic location. All Kenyans are equal and all are entitled to an equitable budgetary resource allocation and opportunities in public appointments. Further, though the Constitution of Kenya is clear on the rights of minorities and the marginalized people in the country, not enough has been done, almost 15 years later, to uphold these rights by fully implementing the provisions of the Constitution. Third, protecting and strengthening devolution. Devolution must continue to be protected from any possibility of clawback on devolved functions, and more effort must be put at devolving all funds allocated to a devolved function, increasing budgetary allocation to counties, and ensuring the timely and predictable disbursement of devolved funds. Your Excellency.
However, political analysts believe that it is also a strategic maneuver by Ruto to consolidate his power base. By bringing in individuals aligned with Odinga's ODM party, Ruto aims to create a more inclusive government, albeit one that ultimately strengthens his grip on power. This move is reminiscent of previous instances in Kenyan history where political alliances have resulted in cabinet reshuffles, often with the aim of rewarding loyalty and consolidating power. The cabinet reshuffle is a clear indication that the UDA-ODM alliance is not merely a symbolic gesture. It is a pragmatic partnership with the potential to reshape the political landscape and influence policy decisions in the years to come. Raila Odinga's decision to join forces with William Ruto is the latest chapter in a long and storied political career. Odinga, a scion of Kenya's first vice president, Jaramogi Oginga Odinga, has been a constant presence in the country's political scene for decades. His journey has been marked by both triumphs and setbacks, alliances and rivalries. Odinga's first foray into the world of political pacts dates back to 1998. Following the hotly contested 1997 election, he entered into an agreement with then-President Daniel Arap Moi. This pact saw Odinga appointed as Minister for Energy, a move that surprised many but also underscored his willingness to negotiate and compromise.
We will also seek the faithful flow of funds to political parties, being vehicles for the channeling of hopes and aspirations of the people. We will use this platform to revisit the constitutional provisions on leadership and integrity, corruption in public life, fundamental freedoms like free speech, protests and assembly, and preservation of the rule of law. We recognize that many of the issues this country is struggling with are as old as the country itself. It will take mutual trust between leaders and the creation of a conducive environment for them to be tackled with honesty and objectivity in a broadly constituted formation. As leaders of our parties, we commit to hold regular consultations on pressing issues, exchange expertise and information on the best practices in the governance of the Republic of Kenya, and facilitate and participate in public activities of interest to the people of Kenya that relate to their problems. We make it clear that the memorandum we have signed today does not define the formation of a political coalition between ODM and UDA. However, its successful implementation could inform the basis of steps toward the establishment of a broadly constitutive and progressive formation for a stable country in future. We urge all Kenyans were interested in having a stable, inclusive, and progressive country, devoid of grandstanding and alienation of whole communities and regions, to rally behind this formation in the interest of our nation. God bless Kenya. Thank you. It's my pleasure now to invite my brother, William Samoei Ruto, to come, the party leader of UDA.
Congratulations. Thank you very much.
The 2002 general election saw Odinga attempt to solidify his political base through a merger between his party, the National Development Party, and Moi's ruling party, KANU. However, this alliance proved short-lived, crumbling when Moi chose Uhuru Kenyatta as his preferred successor. In the aftermath of the disputed 2007 elections, which plunged Kenya into chaos, Odinga once again demonstrated his capacity for political maneuvering. He agreed to a power-sharing deal with President Mwai Kibaki, brokered by former UN Secretary-General Kofi Annan. This agreement, which saw Odinga assume the position of Prime Minister, helped to restore calm and stability to the nation. Odinga's most recent political truce, prior to the current alliance with Ruto, was the 2018 handshake with President Uhuru Kenyatta. This unexpected rapprochement brought an end to months of political tension following the disputed 2017 elections. It also paved the way for a period of relative calm and cooperation between the two leaders.
We, the leaders of UDA, Kenya Kwanza, and ODM, commit to implementing the NADCO report to address key national issues, including the cost of living, youth unemployment, and gender inclusion. We also pledge to foster inclusivity in governance and development, protect and strengthen devolution, invest in creating opportunities for the youth, uphold integrity in leadership, and safeguard the right to peaceful assembly. We will raise and manage national resources responsibly to reduce our debt burden by ensuring transparency, responsible borrowing, and an audit of past debts. To realize and to know what has been borrowed, for what purpose, and how is it going to be paid. I attempted to set up this audit. It didn't work. I am confident that under this broad formation, we will now be able to audit our debts. This moment is not about William Ruto or Raila Odinga. This agreement, this Memorandum of Understanding, is not about sharing positions or winning elections. It is about the people and the interests of Kenya. That is what is significant. To me, the interests of this great nation. We have talked about Kenya of potential for far too long. It is now time that we close ranks as leaders, because this nation can succeed. We have what it takes to be a great nation. But we haven't made the steps and the decisions that would make this nation great, because we have always been making politically correct decisions. We need to make decisions that are correct as far as the interests of the people of Kenya are concerned. I must congratulate His Excellency, the Right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Odinga. and the courage he has to make difficult decisions. Not many leaders can make the kind of decisions the Right Honorable Raila Odinga can make. Very few people can put the interests of the nation and the interests of the people above or ahead of their own personal interests. I say that without fear of any contradiction, because I know the kind of difficulty my elder brother has got to go through in getting us to this position. And my brother Raila Odinga, history is going to charge you fairly for what you have done for this nation. Immediately after the elections, several months after the elections, I called my brother and I told him, you have been my party leader. You have been my senior. Today, by God's grace, I'm president. I want you to be treated well. And I will do whatever it takes to make sure that you have respect in Kenya. And I am not doing this so that for any other reason that is selfish to me. I am doing this because I'm a younger person. You are an elder as far as I'm concerned, by age. And the contribution you have made to this Kenya deserves respect and deserves support. And that is the relationship I have built with the Honorable Raila Odinga. And I am very clear in my mind that going into the future, it will take more than Raila Odinga and myself. It will take every one of us to pull this country together and to achieve the things that will change Kenya for the better. Let me say this, that equally we will fight corruption decisively, eliminate public resource wastage, and uphold the rule of law and constitutionalism, ensuring that government officials respect judicial decisions and protect the rights of all citizens. Our collective goal is a just, equitable, and prosperous Kenya for all of us.